Hello you guys, it is Jksthind and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about this look that I had originally seen on Dress Your Face's channel, and I absolutely loved it and I definitely wanted to recreate it for you guys, and I tried to use the least amount of palettes possible because in the original video she used a couple of different palettes. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Put on some CoverGirl True Blend concealer and I am just tapping it out with an Ellen Tracy brush. And today I think I'm going to do my eyes first because I have a feeling that there is going to be a lot of fallout. And even if there's only a little bit of fallout, I just don't want it to interfere with my foundation. So for today's look, I think I'm going to go into this Makeup Revolution London Alexis Stone Instinct palette, and the reason why I want to go into this is because this has these are all mattes first of all, and it has all of the colors that she used on her eyes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and use this to kind of keep it simple. We might dip into one other palette, but this is gonna give you like a very wide range of different colors. I'm gonna grab this Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease Brush. I'm going to dip into number 14. It's like the second of the reds. And this I'm going to pop into my crease. I'm not setting my concealer that I used to prime because I want this to be I want it to perform very well, and I want the colors to be very vibrant. And in order to do that, the base and the tackiness of the base will definitely help. Alright, that came out very, very vibrant. So what I'm going to do is go into this Morphe 441 brush and really kind of buff that out. Alright, so that is coming off very, very beautifully. It's not patchy at all, but it is very vibrant. It's there, you can see it. So, also what I wanted to talk about was this color switch. This is called a shadow switch, and I just got this from TJ Maxx, but you can definitely get them anywhere from Sephora. You can get them anywhere. Dollar Tree has one, but what this is it's like a little sponge, and let me show you guys. So I have these two brushes that are clearly, they have pigment on them, and if you just swirl it around, it takes the pigment off. It's actually really great. I did just use a red, so I'm not expecting it to take the pigment fully off because red is like a pressed pigment, so it does end up staining some brushes. Like this is probably going to be stained, but that's okay, that's fine by me. But this is really good if you don't want to invest in tons and tons of brushes, but you do want to have a couple of different brushes that you can use and they can be versatile. So this is really, really good for that if you don't have a bajillion brushes like I do. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Amazon brush. It's just a little bit more tapered. It's still pretty fluffy, and I'm going to go into number 20. It's like a hot pink shade, and I'm just going to go over the red just a little bit to give it more of like a pinky sort of vibe. And then you can go back in with that Morphe brush and just circular motions blend it out. So you see how it looks a lot more pinky than it did before? It's just gonna help everything like blend a lot more seamlessly, and it's gonna give that really pretty gradient effect. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into 26, which is this very dark purpley color, and I'm gonna go in with that Amazon brush, and this we're gonna bring right underneath the crease. And with this shade, you really want to make a U shape, like an upside down U, like a rainbow shade. So you really want to focus that color on the outer edge and then the inner edge. So what you're left with is like your finger could fit perfectly into there, like your fingertip. And that'll just help you kind of get the shape that you want. I like to really like take my time on the inner and the outer corners because that's what you're gonna see the most peeking through. So I like to focus on those and really give them a good blend because that is just gonna help how seamless everything looks. And what you can always do, if if your inner corner is a little bit smaller than mine, you can always take a little bit of a smaller brush. Like, you could take something like this. This is a Morphe brush, and you could really get into that inner corner and tap it on and then blend it with a little bit of a bigger brush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into that Morphe brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of that pink again and just revive it on the outside. Okay, so do you see how that just made a really, really nice gradient, and then I have a little U in the middle. Surprisingly, there has been no fallout. So the whole point of me doing my eyes first was kind of a buzz, but it's okay. So in the original post that Dress Your Face posted, she actually used, I believe, this shade right here from the Jaclyn Hill palette. I could use this, but I want to show you guys, and I want to kind of see if there is a dupe for this color so that you only need to use one palette instead of using 50. So I think this is going to be the closest in color, but the shade is a little tiny bit off. So you could use number 9. So this is number 9 right here. It has more of like a seafoamy blue, but I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the original one that she used from the Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette, just because I like the shade better. It's a little bit deeper. I'm not too keen on like the punchy seafoamy green. There is a time and a place for that, but right now I don't feel like it. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this on my finger, and I'm gonna pop it into that little U that we had, that middle. And then I'm gonna just go back in with that Alexis Stone palette, and I'm just gonna take that purple and just kind of revive it on the outer. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so pretty. So here's how it looks. I love, love, love that shade on my lid. Oh my gosh. So I just kind of went back and forth, revived some colors. I did revive the purple a little bit more. I'm gonna kind of clean up underneath the eye. Kind of went ham with my concealer. And then we're gonna move on to some foundation and do our base. So for priming, I'm just gonna use this Wet n Wild Photo Focus cucumber water. It's just like a really nice refresh to the skin. So for foundation, I'm gonna go in with this Kokie Full Coverage foundation in 60W. I really, really like this guy. It's great. All right, I'm gonna go in with, if you are familiar with my channel, I'm gonna go in with my Sephora brush. This is my absolute favorite. This is the Sephora 94 Pro Core Diffuser brush. So lately what I've been doing is I'll go in with my Sephora brush, I'll really pat it into this, or I'll really like, you know, stipple it into the into my skin, and I'll buff it out, and then I'll go back in with my Tati Blendiful, and I will just really, really go in and press everything in, make sure everything's blended, bring it down my neck and stuff, and then that just gives like a really, really nice flawless coverage. So I really like that. You could always go in with your beauty blender as well. I just like this because this doesn't take away any sort of coverage, whereas like a beauty blender might take away some coverage. So that's just my little, what I've been loving to do for the last little bit. So for concealer, I think I'm going to go into with this e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, just because my skin has been super, super dry, and this guy just, I don't know, like it's so good with like really getting my skin to feel a little bit more hydrated. It doesn't have like that tight feeling, and that's what I'm really after in a concealer right now. Alright, so while that's doing, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera really, really quick, and then we are going to be back. Alright, so I set my under eyes. Now I'm going to go in with this LA Girl pressed powder. I've used this a lot of times, so I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Flawless Face brush, and I'm just going to pack this guy on. There is quite a bit, like, this is a very like softly pressed powder, so it does come off. Like, you will get that kickbacky feel. And like, don't drop this, because I've dropped a couple of these compacts and they just burst. That's something that I kind of like about the e.l.f. finishing powder, is that it's not so softly pressed in. It's never broken on me. These have broken on me a couple of different times. But overall, it's a really nice powder. It kind of sinks right into the skin and it blurs. It blurs like everything, which I find really, really nice. So this is a highly recommend as well. Let's go ahead and do our lower lash lines before we do the rest of our face. So what she uses in the original post is this Leo shade right here. It is a beautiful shimmer shade. Let me swatch that for you guys. So that's the shade. I think that we can, I think this shade will be very, very close. That shade is really, really close. Let's see if the one on top is closer. No, I think that one is the closest. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna go in with the one from the Alexis Stone palette, just to kind of show you guys that you don't have to get, you know, 10 bajillion palettes. So I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. I believe this is a smudger brush. It's just like a little tiny flat tip brush, and you could use a pencil brush, it doesn't really matter, anything will do. This is the shade 16, and I'm just gonna go ahead and smudge this on my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with this Gray Tide eyeliner from MAC. It's just like this soft, pearly sort of brown shade almost, right there. I don't know if you guys can tell, you can kind of see how it reflects right there. So I'm gonna go ahead with this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first put this in my waterline, and then I'm also gonna bring it right where my tear duct is. So for my lashes, I use these Pro Beauty Essentials in the Noir shade, and oh my god, they're so, so pretty. Alright, so this is the final look. Let me know what you guys think. I love it so much. I love color. I love using color in my eyeshadows. It really helps kind of put you outside of your comfort zone. So I really like that, and I love Dress Your Face so, so much. So let me know what you guys think. But with that being said, don't forget